A key component of emergency vehicle operation is officer survival. As stated earlier, officers spend more time behind the wheel of a vehicle than any other profession, and are therefore more likely to be involved in a crash than the average driver. We owe it to our loved ones to do everything possible to make it through our shift and to return home safely to them at the end of the night. By far, the most important occupant protection device is the seatbelt. A seatbelt reduces the chance of injury or death in several ways. So how exactly do seatbelts save lives, and what are its major functions? Number one, a seatbelt redistributes crash forces. In other words, it protects your most vulnerable areas by shifting dangerous forces to areas strong enough to absorb them. If all people wore seatbelts all the time, the number of serious injuries and fatalities would be reduced by about 50%. Number two, a seatbelt prevents you from striking the steering wheel, windshield, interior post, or dashboard. It also keeps you from knocking into equipment, which is critical considering all the extra items we carry in our patrol cars, such as computers, radars, shotguns, and spotlights. And number three, a seatbelt helps you remain behind the wheel. Why is this important? Because by staying behind the wheel, you have a better chance to control your vehicle after the collision. It also prevents you from being ejected, which if happens will increase your chance of injury or fatality dramatically. This video shows the importance of wearing your seatbelt and the drastic consequences if you don't. Here we see yet again the dangers of not wearing a seatbelt. The momentum of his spinning vehicle prohibits him, no matter how strong he might be, from staying inside and thus in control of his vehicle. So the question is, if seatbelts are so great at saving lives, then why do some police officers not wear them? Captain Yates is back once again to explain why that might be.
It's about the ambush. It's about the ambush. These are words we often hear associated with the failure of our law enforcement officers towards seatbelts. Since 2000, over 40% of the law enforcement officers that have died behind the wheel of a car have done so without the most proven safety device available to us, the seatbelt. It is the ultimate tragedy, is it not? Several hundred officers have died in the line of duty in the last 30 years without wearing a seatbelt, and many of them would be alive today with a simple click. You see, denial will kill us. If we deny this is a real issue, then the problem will most certainly manifest itself. And unfortunately, many in our profession have denied it, and that denial has cost lives. The time for this dangerous behavior to stop is now. It's not about the ambush. Think about it. When was the last time you heard of an officer ambush while driving down the roadway at 65 miles an hour? You haven't. And the time for us to correct this is now. Wearing your seatbelt is the integral component of Law Officer Magazine's Below 100 campaign. It is important. It will save lives, and it must be done today.
Finally, let's talk money. Workers' compensation is provided to employees who suffer injury arising out of and in the course of their employment. However, there have been recent court decisions that have held that officers injured because they failed to use available seatbelts may lose their workers' compensation and other benefits. This concludes Session 2 of the St. Louis County Police Department Emergency Vehicle Operation Training.